Guys, welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different from other videos that I've done before. This is going to be a story time video, and I've wanted to do this video for a while, but I thought I would wait till around Halloween to do it because I'm going to be talking about a couple of my paranormal experiences. Now, you guys might be skeptical about the stories that I'm about to tell you, but I know what happened to me, and even if it's not necessarily paranormal, it was still strange, and I don't really talk about them a lot because they still creep me out even to this day. The first one I'm going to tell you happened when I was around 16 or 17. I did a lot of theater growing up, and I was very involved with my community theater. It used to be a movie theater, but then it was renovated into a stage theater. And I was working on a production of A Wonderful Life. And that musical is set, I believe, during the 1930s or 40s. In between scenes, I would often just sit backstage because I was on the stage crew. And one of the set pieces was for a bedroom, and it was like this queen-sized bed, and the only place we could put it was like in the back corner. So during the show, some of us would usually just sit or lay down on this bed because it was super comfortable. But because of where it was, there is like this little hallway connecting one side of the stage to the other behind everything, so the actors could go back and forth without there being any shadows or without being seen by anyone in front. And so you could see from one side of the stage to the other if you were on either side of this hallway type area. So one night during the show, a scene was going on stage, so I was sitting on this bed, and most of the crew was elsewhere. I was kind of by myself on this side of the stage for some reason. I don't really remember why. It was many years ago. And I'm sitting on the bed just kind of zoning out, but then I look up and I see this shadow of a very tall man, but the thing that was off about it was that he was wearing a top hat, and that is not the style of costume at all that was in the show. So I thought it was a little weird. It looked like a man that was in a three-piece suit with a rather large top hat, and I was confused as to who it would be. So I was kind of staring at it for a couple seconds, and then he kind of like walked away, and the shadow went away. And because I was so confused, I went over to the other side of the stage to see who was over there and why they were wearing that costume, because it wasn't one of the costumes from the show at all, and there was absolutely no one on that side of the stage. The stage manager wasn't even back there. It was completely empty. All of the actors and the crew members were in the green room, which was a completely different area in the theater, and then there was obviously a scene going on, so whoever was in the scene was on stage. So that just always kind of creeped me out a little bit. I don't know if it was a ghost or what it was, but it really spooked me and made me feel uneasy, and I didn't like being backstage by myself after that. And the second story is really kind of two stories in one, and it happened when I was working on my first play here at college. And it's a little strange to me because our theater here doesn't really give off a strange vibe at all. Like, I'm fine being there alone by myself, except for these two instances, which really made me feel uneasy, and I'm still not really sure what happened. But the first thing that happened was one day I was, I think, cleaning up after rehearsal or getting ready for a rehearsal to start, and our props master, who was a girl, was with me, and we were just walking from one side of the stage to the other, making sure that all of the props and everything was situated. And as I was walking across the stage, I heard a guy's voice really loudly just say, "Becca." And so I turned around and I said, "What?" And the props master looked at me really weird, and I said, "Do you need something?" And she was like, "No." So I asked if any of the actors were sitting in the house because it sounded like a guy's voice anyway, and she said that we were the only two in there at that time. So that was really strange, and it made me feel a little uneasy for the rest of the day because I don't know who it could have been because it wasn't the props master, because it was a guy's voice that I heard. It was really strange. And then I don't know if it was later on that same week or that same day or just a couple weeks later, but during that same show that I was working on, there was another time where it was right before a rehearsal was going to start, so I had a lot of actors just kind of walking around the theater space, and I was walking from one side of the stage to the other again, and in a theater, we have these black curtains on the sides of the stage where actors kind of enter and exit out of, and it just kind of breaks up the space so that you can tell that it's a different exit and entrance each time they go through it, and they're called wings. And so I was walking through one of the wings, and the curtain on my right side, all of a sudden out of the corner of my eye, I saw it like push out at me, like there was someone behind the curtain and they like stumbled into it, and it was with such force that I even stumbled back, and I was like, whoa guys, be careful. But no one kind of responded, so I was like, that's a little rude. So I went around the other side of the curtain to tell them to be careful, and no one was standing there. So I kind of went into the house and I was like, hey, who was standing up by those curtains? And no one had been standing there. They were all sitting in the seats just kind of talking to each other. So I don't know if I was just in a hurry and I imagined that happening, but that was also something really strange that happened, and I'm still not able to explain what happened there. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching this video. I've been wanting to make it for a while because I've never really told these stories to people, because I always think that they're going to be like, you're an idiot, here's a simple explanation for it. But since it's around the Halloween time, I thought that it would be a perfect chance to tell some of my paranormal experiences. Let me know down below in the comments if you think you can explain any of these stories, or if you have any paranormal experiences that you would like to share. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!